I just want to ask you, ahead of this summit that's taking place next week, virtual summit, relations aren't at their best right now. Should I get my hopes up? What are you expecting there?
Well, I mean, trade is very good. It's €1 billion a day from China to the European Union, as well as 500 million the other way. So trade flows is quite good, but the atmosphere, of course, is really going downhill. We have an investment agreement being discussed in 7 years and 30 rounds, and we all are very eager to see this close. But of course, the political noises around it make it possibly more difficult day by day.
Has it affected relations right now recently, especially over the last few weeks? Have you noticed any change in business conditions for your members? Has it affected how you guys do business, essentially?
No, China went out of its way in order to help us all the way to micromanagement in our logistics, in our settings after the COVID crisis. No, I mean, circumstances here are actually quite good. The problem is really that we need some more opening in this society. We need some more opening in the economy. We have pointed out that in added to the problems of debt and the kind of aging that China's facing, now we have the COVID impact as well as decoupling. And China really has to develop the sense of urgency in order to reform and not to be too complacent. So, I mean, I'm trying to launch this book today, solid 400 pages, in order to get that message across.
Could you take us through the salient points? Obviously, we don't have time to go through 400 pages, but if you were to name one or two, the biggest, most pressing issues, what would they be?
It really is market access for a couple of business, in particular in the service sector, be it maritime shipping, be it for legal services and so forth. Manufacturing actually has experienced very good development, and even is opening up. Companies can do 100% what they could not do a couple of years ago. But then, of course, you have a downhill trend in ICT and in biosecurity issues where we really feel a struggle. Hence, we need an investment agreement that nails down the Chinese commitments, gives us milestones in order to tackle these issues.
There's a sizable chunk as well in terms of market access when it comes to financial services, which you alluded to, the European banks having some troubles in China. I'm wondering if you could just sort of explain what the pickle is right now.
Well, the European banks were put basically in a box, very small niche players. They are by now the entire market share of foreign companies, not just Europeans. Foreign banks is 1.7%. We have a lot of licenses issues. If you apply for a license, you cannot apply for 2 or 3 or 4 simultaneously. So it takes a long time, and at the same time, you have your Chinese competitors growing. So we are definitely running 100 meters with shackles.
How do you want this to be received by the Chinese side? I'm not going to ask you how it has been received. You guys just released it, of course. But in terms of the reception, do you think China's going to be open to some of these changes?
Oh, we had a very good meeting 2 days ago with the Vice Premier Hu Jun-hua. He's very eager to learn what we have to say. Certainly, there are a couple of areas where they might feel not very happy about it, but overall, 800 recommendations speak to the point we're committed. We really want to change things over here. No, we have a very deep relationship with the Chinese government, but again, we can only suggest, and it's up to them to turn this into real policy.
Right. And the bigger question is, you know, as I was browsing through what you call the book, it's customary, of course, 400 pages. If you included other challenges, I would imagine it would be much longer than this. It begs the question, if you were to answer this question, do you think Europe should rethink its relationship with China? Should Europe pursue a deeper economic relationship with the mainland?
Yeah, by the way, we call it the door stopper. It's a very useful book if you have problems at home. We have basically recommendations for the European Union. Years ago, we started asking for investment screening because it's one thing in order to compete against SOEs in this market in China, but all of a sudden to face SOEs that are, of course, certainly benefiting from subsidies in Europe is another matter. So very happy about the development there on investment screening. At the same time, we also looked into subsidies. So Europe has to develop a toolbox to deal with the fact that China has a very different system, very different company structures, at the same time preventing to have protectionist tendencies.